Hi, I'm Gary Parker, Senior Product Marketing Manager at BakBone Software. And today we're going to talk about data classification. And the reason is that data protection is not just about doing backups, although they're very important, obviously. But really it's about understanding your data, knowing the business requirements, and then putting it into categories or classes, data classification, so that you can optimize your resources to get best possible use. Now that requires a methodology, and that's exactly what we'll talk about now, so let's take a look. Okay, so when we begin looking at analyzing data, we want two elements. One, RTO, that's the recovery time objective, and second, RPO, that's recovery point objective. Recovery time objective will be how far back in time will it take us to get this information. For example, if we're dealing with static data, which will be our first discussion, this might be 3 days. 72 hours is fine for that. It takes me 3 days to get the data back. That's perfectly fine for this class of data. It might be that the pointing time is back no more than 1 day of maximum exposure. Now, one of the things that will happen is, as you work with users, is they'll all say, well, hey, wait a minute, no, I want 0 and 0. I want my data right back right now, right away. And I want it back immediate. And that's fine, except for one little item. Cost. You know, there's a saying among people who are enthusiasts for racing, car racing, is that speed costs money. Then the next thing they say is, oh, by the way, how fast do you want to go? And that's exactly the same element that's going on here. Now, static data, by its nature, is data that doesn't change. You have to keep it. It'll be your old files, your old proposals, your old documents. Need to be retained for analytical purposes, for regulatory requirements, for legal e-discovery reasons later on, but not going to change. So therefore, it works best being protected by traditional tape-based backup. And so for that purpose, we need to have a good archive system. And the reason for that is that the exposure, in the case of litigation, in the case of regulatory agencies asking for data, is very high if you can't get to it appropriately with the right protections. So archive systems cover that, takes care of this very well. And this, by the way, if you're like most companies, it'll be the bulk of your data. It'll be 60, maybe 70% of your data will be here. Now, just as the name implies, business vital is data which is very vital to the ongoing operation. It's really the part of the heart and soul. It's the productivity of each employee as they produce data sheets, as they produce workflow, as they produce spreadsheets, Word documents, proposals. These are areas. Now, the nature of that is that if that should be lost, it probably won't bring the company down, but it will impact that person in that department. So now for this group, instead of talking days to get back, we really want to bring these back in terms of hours. We might, for example, want to bring 6 to 24 hours as being recovery time. How long will it take us to get that data back? Recovery point objective might be even tighter, 2 to 12. And the reason why is that we basically want to get back get the folks being productive as quickly as they can, hours, not days, and we want to minimize their rework, even tighter number of hours for that. So for this class of data, our business vital, we still will maintain our tape protection, but we add another element to it, and that is to get this data back quickly like that. Instead of storing on tape, where we've got to find the cartridge, get it into the drive, advance it to the right location, then read it. We'd rather have it right on disk. So that means then immediate restore, much faster, less time for the end user, less time for the administrator to take as well too. So for that, we keep these, we add another element, and that is disk-based backup. And then we began to think of another consideration. Here we talked about protecting the data, but we also want to protect the entire server as well too. To protect the server, we need bare metal recovery. And bare metal recovery will then bring the entire server back, so we get both the data and also the server itself protected as well too. Now with that, we've looked at static and days, business vital and hours. Now we move to the next phase, which is mission critical. So now, instead of days, instead of hours of time, we began to talk in terms of minutes. This might be 5 minutes for recovery time objectives. It might be 5 minutes for recovery point objectives. Mission critical continues to have the fundamentals, long-term tape protection, disk protection, bare metal for the server. It now begins to add additional element of very fast restore capabilities at this point. High availability begins to become very critical at this point. Many different ways to achieve it based upon your needs, but it's absolutely critical that this data be there to be able to get back for you in minutes. So what have we looked at? We've seen that to make best use of our resources, we need to break our data into major categories based on what's happening. It's not being accessed, not being changed. Very comfortable on tape with an archive to give us retention purposes and retention control. Business vital. This is the activities of the day. Quicker restore, quicker recovery point in time. And mission critical, where the existence of the organization to a large extent depends upon it, we move to minutes of time for that. So what we're offering to you is a methodology, an approach to think it through, to work it out. And, quite important, is that these numbers come from you working with your end users, deciding upon which data is static, which is business vital, which is mission critical, and what are the times, RTO and RPO, that are appropriate for you. So in summary, thank you very much for watching today. For more information on this, please check out the BakBone website. Have a good day.